battle with Pumpkinhead happened within eyesight of the Barbican, a dilapidated fortification within the ring walls surrounding and protecting, up to a point, Port Sovereign. The Barbican was, technically still is, the seat of the city guard, and its commander is one of the 7 members of the city council. This position has remained empty since the death of the last commander, 𝗿𝗿𝗻𝗿 Embett, however. Tracing more occult activity inside the once proud blockhouse, the freshly named stalwart defenders encounter a wretched squat inhabited by some cultists of Baphomet. These have reanimated the body of 𝗿𝗿𝗻𝗿 Embett, who is none too pleased to be recalled from his eternal slumber. After the stalwart defenders crush the squalid group of cultists, old Jenny breaks the fingers of their magic-using leader, to prevent him from casting any more spells, of course. In the Barbican's armoury, the party finds a dwarven minecart, whose style Hrafn recognises as that of the Chainforger clan, which, as we will remember, is no great admirer of his. Inside the minecart, the party find 2 intertwined wedding rings and a love potion, yet another stinging reminders of Hrafn's estranged love interest, Torhild Chainforger. Wading through some outsized creatures which have taken up residence in the Barbican cells, the group finds an old escape tunnel which leads from under the Barbican and out beyond the walls of Port Sovereign. In this passage, the party stumbles upon a meeting between a human and a drow, both of whom flee upon seeing the stalwart defenders approach. Choosing to continue their clear out of the fortress rather than pursue the suspicious pair, the party finally encounter the ghost of the wife of 𝗿𝗿𝗻𝗿 Embett, Ismay, on an upper floor within the Barbican. This tortured soul screams that she will never forgive, never forget, and something about betrayal by the sorcerer, the shapeshifter. Kadira summons lesser demons to bring down the poltergeist, but these all too new powers prove to be a double-edged sword. The demons require putting down after Ismay herself is dispatched. Still, once the Barbican is pacified, the city council recognises the achievements of the stalwart defenders and awards the title of Commander of the Guard to one of its members. As a native of the city, 𝗿𝗿𝗿𝗍 accepts the title. The commandership comes with a handsome purse of monies, although ultimately its wielder is answerable to the rest of the city's council. Hoping to support Kristen Leftfield in the coming election, 𝗿𝗿𝗍𝗍 travels to the gnome quarter of Port Sovereign. Here, the one-armed commander hopes to find a printing press which could be used to advertise the Maiden of Port Sovereign's electoral campaign. 𝗿𝗿𝗍𝗍 also hopes to commission the tailoring, or perhaps construction would be a better choice of word, of a hat, one suiting his new standing in the town. Meeting Rudu Fongelwrench, 𝗿𝗿𝗍𝗍 hopes to have his new headgear fitted out with all manner of gnomish gadgets. Rudu offers to tag along with the stalwart defenders so as to invent adaptations for the hat depending on the situation the commander finds himself in. The ranks of the party are further swelled by Mayona Hawkwind and her Goliath companion Tor Ruzimov. Mayona hoped to rob the well-to-do party but chose instead to offer her light-fingered services in the hope that membership of the stalwart defenders would prove a more steady stream of income. Her companion, Tor, despite his imposing height and build, is somewhat weak-willed compared to Mayona and is easily talked into staying with her despite his misgivings regarding the party. The day before the election, Kristen gives another impassioned speech to the population of Port Sovereign. The party has also received a threatening letter warning them to stay out of politics. It also refers to the group's intervention in the Archean ruins when the stalwart defenders rescued Kristen. Sensing a danger to the Maid of Port Sovereign, the party are on hand during the mayoral candidate's speech and prevent an assassination attempt by a drow wielding a blowgun. Mayona disguises herself as Kristen, and 𝗿𝗿𝗍𝗍 uses himself as a human shield. Kadira successfully interrogates the drow, svyatlykhosherstov, in the Barbican prison and finds out that Maester Kollejets is heavily involved in a plan to eradicate Kristen in the hope that the more pliable 𝗿𝗿𝗏, the son of the previous mayor, will win the election, furthering his and the drow's ambitions. However, with Likhosherstov in irons, nothing stands between Kristen and a landslide victory in the mayoral elections. Rumour has it that Maester Kollejets has fled to his offshore mill in the wake of his failing schemes. Amongst all this, Kadira only has so much invested in this land and this period in time, in neither of which she truly belongs. Her suspicion has been growing that the city's arcane academy might be of some help in repairing her gemstone focus, and with it her hopes of returning to her native land and time. En route to the academy, the party happens upon an argument in the streets between some dwarves from the coastal Red Snapper clan, and some hags, both of whom are working to solve the grand quest to win Giles Cartness's fortune. The situation deteriorates and the stalwart defenders fight alongside the dwarves against the hags. 2 of the 3 of the Boover Hag Coven are killed, with the third, 𝗖𝗿𝗱𝗀𝗱, fleeing the scene. The hags wrought terrible harm amongst the dwarves though, thinning their number by half. The party does what it can to assuage the grief of their comrades in battle, providing enough cash to pay for the funerals of the fallen, whilst Tor, a gentle healer by heart, offers some calming herbs. In the district near the Arcane Academy, the stalwart defenders meet Mr. and Mrs. Atwood, parents of one Linwood, one of several students missing from the Arcane Academy. With growing discomfort, the party realises these students were the cultists they fought on the Archean ruins when they rescued Kristen Leffield from Eldon Malik. Thanks to old Jenny's outrageous flirtation with the Academy's Chancellor, Geoffrey Dongleberry, the ancient scholar agrees to have a look into the problems of Kadira's arcane focus. Cecile, too, hoping to have a family sword imbued with magic powers, leaves it with a senior faculty member in return for a promise of 500 gold pieces and a resolution to the problem of the missing students. With Kristen in power and her foes for now more or less contained, the party returns to the north of the island. This memory orb, which is so important to the drow, is not going to find itself, it seems. The Drider, half drow, half spider, which Queen Ariadne chose to have exiled to this region, are pitiful specimens. There are caves amongst the ruins, these being yet more remnants of the Archean period. Thus, the Drider have some approximation of the underground environments in which they habitually lurk. However, they are forced to forage for food outdoors, where they risk being caught in the sun. The local gargoyle population, seeing these wretched specimens as easy pickings, are preying on the Drider as the party arrive. In an unexpected turn of events, the stalwart defenders see themselves fighting the gargoyles and coming to the aid of the Drider by default. The Drider caves do indeed turn out to be the refuge of the memory orb, although the stalwart defenders have to wade through an arachnophobe's nightmare of webs, 𝗿𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 something akin to a fortune teller's crystal ball crossed with a snow globe. Only when looked at directly does the orb fill the viewer's mind with its unhappy story. The wintry scene shows an elven city, Shardhaven, on the day of its fall to the drow. The Dark Elves spared no one, male, female, child, on the day they rose from the Underdark to capture what they now call 𝗖𝗿𝗍𝗍. No wonder the drow want this relic. The slaughter of the High Elves is something they would prefer the world to forget. Thanks for watching! Subscribe to follow the adventure as it continues to unfold. Thanks also to the great Callathiforay players, past and present, for their characters' backstories and for their role in creating the world.